Hello everybody, hope you're doing well. Welcome back to the channel. I've done a few mentions of this Battleground system change and we'll cover it more next week when details are fully dropped, but I want to go a bit more further into this and talk about time saving, why it's so important, some potential issues that we could see down the line, and other things as well. So as I said, I did mention this topic right here. I've not done it in one separate devoted video, but I've definitely done it in a we've done it in some coverage. But why this is so important, we're going to find out, and why it could save such a lot of time, and why it deals with a huge pain point is just, again, such a huge point for the player base. So what we're all talking about is this, if you haven't seen any of the coverage, Battlegrounds Victory Track medal upgrades, and we're going back to the 2 medals gained per win, what seems to be overall 1 medal lost per defeat system. This was something that was put in a while ago, so if you remember this one right here, this forum post, starting with Season 8, summoners will gain 2 medals for each win until they reach Diamond. Losses will still only remove 1 medal. This means you keeping a constant 50% win rate should allow you to climb up all the way to Diamond. There's been a lot of frustration when it comes to the system of making gains and bottlenecks. For those that don't really understand, those that have found issue with the victory track side of things, hey, you're good and this isn't something that kind of like you should be concerned with. But those that, as we said previously, I've covered forum threads, posts by people when it comes to trying to get fights in Gladiator Circuit, and the problem with bottlenecks in Gladiator Circuit. A lot of players are hitting Vibranium and bottlenecking. And bottlenecking basically means that everyone's fighting each other and they're not gaining. Like, it's not, because it's a 1 medal, 1 to loss system in that, players aren't able to, get above each other and are stagnating, and they're just hitting this limbo point and they're just going, right, well, I'm done with this. I don't have the time for it. Or they're devoting the entirety of their grind to Battlegrounds in order to either get out of there, make gains going up victory track, and just get into Gladiator Circuit, which is causing damage for participation in Gladiator Circuit. Not completely, but it is something like is going to get worse before it gets better, and I'm sure that's the reason Kabam have looked at it and gone, we need to do something. We need to get more people into that. Even if they're being stomped on in Gladiator Circuit, at least they're getting an opportunity to make, people are able to make gains or kind of get into that particular system. Now, we don't know any more as to like how Kabam are going to change the system of extra ranks and rewards. Will it mean that we'll have, I don't know, like a gold 4, a platinum 4, a diamond 4, in order to facilitate, more progression and time invested into the mode, which is not exactly a bad thing. Or will they kind of like look at more adding more to Vibranium, which I think would be pretty weird. Vibranium's already pretty stacked as it is. Like, if you go into game right now, we'll just kind of like get it on screen. Vibranium has 3 tiers where you have to get 5 medals each time, and that 1 medal system is very frustrating. It's where the massive bottlenecks. It's probably the thing that kind of damaged my interest in this, because it just became too grindy, and time investment for me is so darn important. Time management with this game is so darn important. It's something that's like, I want to play other games, but I felt very much kind of like, and I love the game, but it's like, I don't want to take my entire life of like a day like today and go, oh, I should be doing the gardening for a bit, because that would be great. I'm out in fresh air. I'm dealing with something that is, really, really cool, kind of like calming. Instead, I've got to play this game. I have to play it because I have to get something from it, and it's taken up a good chunk of my day. Like, I've never liked that. I don't think that's kind of like healthy behavior. And Kabam are putting together some things that are going to improve your grinding game, which I think they're developing at the moment. We'll talk about that in, I don't know, next month or whenever they get that done. But they are thinking about these things, which is good. But it's time saving. It's massively time saving. We're going to go on to this spreadsheet here, which, by the way, and I just need to point out before anybody gets a bit funny, this is not necessarily, this is just estimates, right? So I'm just using theories on things. So if people go, actually, Rich, I think you'll find, like, no, that's not the point. I need to get this to a point of time investment. And do bear in mind, this can change over a course of a season. If you're going from bronze all the way to Vibranium, which a lot of people are because they're losing interest with the mode. Not saying it's everybody, but there are people out there that definitely do that. And if you go into bronze right now and fight, you'll probably find some people with very stonky accounts and going, why are you here? Ask them why. They'll probably say similar thing, like, I just don't either have the time, it's a bit too grindy, or it's a case like I just can't make any gains. But when it comes to the extent of investment, let's just say for theory's sake, it's 51 estimated wins. We've got 24 wins, say, to get to diamond, and then from diamond it's 48 medals going one way, 24, because you get 2 per time, and 27 straight wins to go to from diamond all the way to vibranium and gladiator circuit. As I said, this is not exact. I'm just using it as estimates just to kind of like get to a theory, and that theory is that you'll be likely investing based on 15 minutes per battleground grind, 765 estimated minutes, which is about 12.75 hours investment, and that of course applies that you have to be winning, right? You have to be winning in battlegrounds, go figure. But if you're not winning, and say you've got a win rate of like 50%, that doubles, doesn't it? If we say theoretically that 12.75, we'll round up to say it's 13 hours. If it's 13 hours times 2, it's 26 hours. If it's 26 hours over the course of 1 month, okay, that's about an hour investment a day, which doesn't seem too bad. But that's saying you have to do the mode on a daily basis for an hour. You may not have an hour because you might be like, well, I need my hour to go and do other things in game. This is why the mode maybe struggles for a lot of players to find time to do it. Weekends, I don't have time. People might say, I don't have time weekends, but I want to do the mode. Well, you can't. If your win rate is less than that, if it's 25%, again, we're adding an extra 12.75 hours on. You see what happened? We're adding more time and more time and more time and more time. And what we've done is we've created a pain point. And by creating a pain point, it means that players will become disenfranchised with the mode. If you're not able to win going into gladiator circuit, then of course that causes another bottleneck and issue. A domino effect in the game, which happens from time to time. Some modes don't work out. Now, Kabam Crash said, hey all, we'll be sharing more details before the next Battleground season starts, which I guess that actually, rather than next week, it'll be the week after. But the goal of the change was to make the climb more plausible for those struggling to make progress, but not necessarily make it faster for those who are already climbing with ease. We have added additional ranks as well as additional medals to every rank. Wait to see the details, but if you're one of those players breezing to Gladiator Circuit with a 75% win rate, it's going to take about the same number of matches to get there. So that still could be an issue. It's not saying like it fixes a problem in like completely, but at least gives an opportunity for players to make that grind. If say it's, instead of it being 12 hours, assuming that each battleground grind is about 15 minutes, but if it shaves that 12 hours to be something like 6 hours or even 8 hours, just to make that 75% win rate and kind of flow, then it could see really beneficial change for those that are lower skilled, medium skilled, whatever skill level you think you are with the game in general, and with the mode. Then this is going to be a big time saver and something that I personally resonate with and think this is great. But of course, there's going to be times where will this cause issue with farming points? It may do. We just don't know. And I think this is all about trial and error. As Kabam tries stuff out, things will work and things won't work. But I really think this is going to be a beneficial change. There could be some point farming when it comes to the solo event. That may be a little bit unsavory, possibly, but we won't know that until it goes live. We have to look at variables, and I'm sure Kabam will look at the variables as well. But what they have to do, and I think this is the reason they've done it, is look at progression in that mode, how players are able to climb up, why aren't players climbing up, why aren't certain people getting involved with the game mode. There may be lower numbers participating in the victory track grind. I'm not saying there is or isn't, but if it's a pain point and people go, well, I don't like this, they'll move away from alliances. They'll move in general away from this particular mode, which means that there's less numbers participating in the mode, and it becomes the same. It becomes a little bit stagnated. But I don't know. I'm happy about this. I think it's a really good change. What are your thoughts on this particular mode? Is it good? Is it bad? Do you see some issues down the line? Thoughts in the comments. Thanks very much for watching. Check out some other content located on screen. And I'm going to think about what the next video is going to be. Probably going to be about arcade and North Star gameplay reaction thing. Anyway, thanks for watching. See you soon. Bye-bye.